gross. It's always so gross when you get down to it. Kind of in the vein of big projects trampling all over people's lives and rights. The stuff about Breonna Taylor and that little project.
It was a great segue.
Yeah, unwraps a candy bar. How much was the cost of that life? Was it $1, you said?
Yeah, that was
this is pretty terrible, yeah.
That was wild. I didn't even. This isn't even something I feel like can be. I don't know. It's something that's immediately frustrating to try to interact with.
Yeah, and it's
the
huge.
The only way
and
that, like, anything that I will ever say, or really any of us here will ever say, that will be relevant, is if it's acknowledged by anyone other than, like, these sort of remote, isolated, independent news journals. I mean, the fact that just the details of the connection between Breonna Taylor and her ex-boyfriend, that is sort of the link and why all of these things happened. The details have not been discussed at all in any major news outlet. Connection, almost in quotation marks. That's all they'll ever say about it. I don't know. I'm still kind of processing it because, like, a lot of it I just found out today. I am obviously really horrified that I find it so readily apparent that she was most likely, like, intentionally murdered. And, like, they did not intend to murder. Then they intended to take all of these parties to jail and keep them there for as long as possible, and to fabricate as many charges as they need in order to
take that shit.
Take their property. Yeah.
Get rid of that shit. Throw it in a trash can.
And it's just so easy for me to believe that. I mean, the connection does not feel as tenuous as a lot of other cases. When I was reading these articles, it felt more bare bones, just kind of stark.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say about it, because I just don't feel like it's going to be talked about. Like, it's
really
just another one of those atrocities,
Yeah, this really fucks up the initial thing. They're like, this is the wrong address. Whoopsie. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the wrong address.
That is what they said for months.
They were like, there's going to be a reason to go in here, and that's to get rid of these motherfuckers, whoever it is. And also the fact that task force was misled, apparently, right, by the motherfuckers in charge of the shit or something. They're like,
yeah. So
when they got the warrant, they told them the postmaster confirmed that they were shipping drugs there. The reporters contacted the postmaster, and they were like, "What? Did I say that?"
Yeah, in fact, the postmaster confirmed that not the Louisville PD, but another agency, another investigative agency. I didn't say which one, had contacted them, asking them about this specific thing. They had investigated the mail that had been going there and was continuing to come through there to Breonna's apartment, and found nothing suspicious whatsoever. And they reported that. That was the extent. They got a very hard negative from an unknown organization, and somehow the prosecutor's office was able to book that up into a no-knock warrant to be executed at 1 a.m. And it's kind of like there is that article that I linked was particularly eye-opening because there was a. This all basically comes down to one detective who's a part of a squad. Let me see if I can remember what the name of the squad is. Basically, this squad is in charge of what is it called? The investigation of places, areas that have been repeatedly popping up on the radar for violent crime. In fact, that's in the name. They're targeting places.
Places.
Let me scroll through here real quick.
It's too much. What kind of fucking... Who came up with that fucking name?
Yeah, Place-Based Investigation Squad was created to address systemically violent locations and help existing crime deterrence efforts. And so the detective in charge, I guess, or at the very least, the one writing up reports and submitting them to various departments within the Louisville Police Department and the prosecutor's office. Falsified connections between Breonna Taylor and her ex-boyfriend, and it was in his report that he was saying, and this is why I think it's this investigative squad that was the I guess they're not a part of the Louisville PD, but they were the unknown organization that contacted the postmaster and then subsequently falsified the information that the postmaster told them that there was a suspicious package going there. But this guy basically had been staking out both of their houses and like 3 or 4 others for months, and basically just waiting and building up some sort of case, anything that would lead to a warrant that would subsequently lead to arrest, that would, even if they didn't stick, be enough to seize their property.
Yeah, that would subsequently lead to a development project. Yeah,
they deny that this had any part of both the squad itself and the city have vehemently denied and become horrified and disgusted by these accusations that this was all a setup to get this property. But you can't really view it as any other sort of motivation when the moment that these houses were inevitably seized and put up for auction, they were there buying them for $1. A dollar.
And demolishing them immediately.
I don't know.
Like on the spot.
Let me get this shit. Oh.
Like nobody else was bidding. I mean, if they bought it for $1, I mean, this is
yeah. That's
how you mug somebody for their house. Never thought that was possible.
It's insane. She still talked to the guy sometimes. There was no record of them ever meeting, or her going to his apartment, or him coming to hers.
Mm-hmm. No mail received.
Outside of that same officer who falsified the report from the postmaster, testifying that they had in fact met up at various ways.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because even the Places investigator, like the entire basis of his effort was to do this heinous thing, and he couldn't find, even with all of the effort, find the thing that technically let them. Even though, it still would have been fucking horrifying.
And that's not that is
not sort of. If they had met up, if he had drugs shipped to her house, you still don't bust into their house and fucking shoot up the goddamn apartment building.
Right.
At 1 o'clock in the morning. But they couldn't even find that.
There were 2 huge anomalies there. Of course, they found all kinds of drugs and weapons on this guy when they arrested him that same night. But, who knows of what actually happened there. But there were two huge anomalies. First, yes, they usually do not issue no-knock warrants on, especially not at such a an odd time of night, at 1 o'clock in the morning. It almost never happens anywhere in the country that they do this for non-violent crimes where they have no reason to suspect, which they testified. All the officers there said they testified that they had no reason to suspect that these people were going to be violent or that they had weapons or anything of the sort, which is why they knocked, even though it was a no-knock warrant. So that was one anomaly, but the more telling one was that, as I said, place-based investigative squad, the PI, was an investigative squad for places for violent crime.
Yep.
Neither Breonna Taylor nor her ex-boyfriend, Glover, or any of the other people that they served no-knock warrants on that night, had ever been even booked on a violent charge. None of them. They were not under investigation or had any sort of suspicion to any violent crime whatsoever. So
They just do whatever
they
want.
were acting very extrajudicially, if you will, in terms of like what the squad's supposed purpose was, and that just what really is likely. It seems very likely is that this squad is such a specialized squad, not for any particular purpose outside of being sort of off the books, being
Places.
sort of not having a real sort of goal and not having people that they answer to as extensively as other squads with more oversight might, so
They're
that's
literal rogues.
yeah. I mean, I just
Cloaks and daggers.
I was about to say this seems like an assassination squad.
Splinter
This is what
cells.
it seems like against people that have never heard anything.
Tom Clancy could have proved it too. He knows. He's dead. Tom Clancy fucking gets it, bro.